Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show. Today is the 19th, Wednesday the 19th of February, 2020. Guess what I did this morning? I produced this entire show on time and everything, got it out there, built the show up, put it through post-production editing, edited it, everything, got it on the air, and I downloaded it onto my Glenn Travels America channel. I'm going to leave it there. I'm doing a whole new show for you guys right now. And what we're going to talk about is the situation coming out of China. China is basically the hub city, a big city for industrial and everything is in China is basically shut down. An enormous city, 11 million people. It's shut down production. For China is ridiculous. The ships coming out of China and delivering products to the United States are going to be empty. So many things that we use in our day-to-day life we take for granted come from China. Packaging for a lot of your products, the grocery bags, plastic products. The list goes on and on. Medicinal supplies, drugs, pharmaceuticals. I could go on and on and on of these things that are going to be supply chain distribution cuts that are going to be coming out of China very soon. And this is going to affect businesses all around the world. They're going to have to try to reallocate new supply chain distribution and everything. We're losing China. And what I mean by losing China is production's going to fall off a cliff in China. It's a tremendous situation that's not really affecting the stock market that much. The stock market's not pricing any of this in. And it's unimaginable, the consequences, that the stock market's not pricing in because they're getting cheap, easy, free money from the Fed. And they're just so enamored with that. They're just so excited about that free money that they're keeping stimulating the markets up. But there's going to come a point where they're going to have to pay for all of this. And this universe works on a basic principle. It's for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And there's going to be a reaction from what happens in China right now. And the situation's not getting better. The situation in the world is getting worse as we're dealing and coping with this new malady that we have that's spreading across the world, slowly but surely. And anyway, it's going to have a bigger and bigger effect as it branches out and as it grows. It's going to have a larger and larger effect upon the world economy, not just in China. Okay, so we got huge problems, but a buoyant stock market. And so, the rally in gold and silver, what you see in motion is going to continue to stay in motion because they have to support the core system of the world. The Federal Reserve and all the other central banks have to support that core system that keeps essential services running. It keeps your power turned on. It keeps everything up and running so that the world doesn't fall into chaos. If the world falls into chaos, they lose power, the people who control the system. So they're going to print what they have to print. It's going to be endless monetary stimulation coming up. This is going to have an effect upon the fiat currencies, but not on the overall system in general, which is dying. The system is decaying. The system is going to fall into a deep, hard recession. And at the same time, they're going to have to buoy everything with fiat currencies. And this is going to make a separation between your worth of fiat currencies. Fiat currencies, the actual buying power is going to decrease at the same time as the system is going into a deflating scenario, of overpowering deflation within the system, but hyperinflation within the core of the system. So this is a very unusual situation. Let's get started. Let's open up and take a look at what's going on. Let's open up the charts right here and take a look. First thing we're going to look at is the silver price today. And what we're looking at is 18.25 for silver. And silver's staying high. And these things are going to continue. This is a an action that's taking place as a result of what's going on in the system, and what's in motion tends to continue to stay in motion. This is the opposite of a bubble in silver. This is an inverse bubble. This is just the opposite of an expanded bubble. This is like negative. Silver's on the negative side instead of being on the positive. Like the market right now, the boy, cheap, easy money, it's way overvalued. Silver is way undervalued. In fact, it's the most undervalued asset in the world right now, is silver. Let's take a look at gold. Gold's $5.80. 1607 is the price for gold today, and you notice it's staying well above $1,600 now at this point. It's catching a really nice bid. It's looking good, and gold and silver are the two best. I think they're the best places to be in times of turmoil, and that's what's coming. It's times of turmoil. Let's take a look at cryptocurrency market capitalizations, and we're looking at $295 billion for cryptocurrency market caps, and we're looking at 62.4% Bitcoin dominance. And what we're looking at is $10,127 for Bitcoin today. Now let's take a look at the Dow Jones. And look at this. She's being buoyed by all this cheap, easy printed money by the Federal Reserve. The Dow Jones is 29,317. It's almost at all-time highs with the situation that's happening in the world right now. It's like they're completely ignoring the fundamentals now at this point, and they are in their new paradigm. They're completely lost touch with reality, and they're just concerned with what the Fed's going to do. Let's take a look now at oil. Oil's caught a nice bid today. It's up 69 cents, 1.33%, 52.74 for crude oil today. And so crude oil's doing rather well today. Now let's take a look at bonds and rates, and we're going to take a look at the U.S. Treasuries. And we're looking at rise in yields on the Treasuries, but it's insignificant. It's not a big rise, and it's less than 1 basis point, except for the U.S. 3-year, which is 1.1 basis point. So we're looking at the 10-year at 1.56, and we're looking at the U.S. 30-year at 2.01%. Now let's take a look at the U.S. dollar index, 99.68 and rising. It's rising rather steeply today, and you notice gold and silver aren't falling off. They're not falling out of bed, even though the dollar's going up rather steeply today, and it's heading toward 100 on the U.S. dollar index. The dollar's catching a bid because an awful lot of people out there, investors and stuff, they're scared right now. They want to be in dollars. And I'm going to tell you what, personally, I think if a person's smart, what they will do is they'll have a few dollars, but have it in cash and have it in $5 bills, so that if the system cracks and we get huge problems in the system, you'll have something that you can spend rather easily without having to make change. I mean, it might come down to the point where we have a system where just the core is running because of these problems coming out of China. Just the core of the system might be running because the Federal Reserve and their other central banks are keeping the core system running. But the rest of the system is in decay to such a point where your debit cards might not even work, depending on what bank you're affiliated with. You know what I mean? And you might have to pay cash for something, and the person that's selling it to you might not have the proper change. And you don't want to give them a 1-ounce gold coin if they can't give you change. Wouldn't you rather just give them a $5 bill? It just makes sense, guys. Okay. Thank you guys for listening to our report this morning. Like and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up, and we'll catch you guys in the very next show. Bye-bye.